it's Stass here. We're doing a brew day, finally. We're in the garage today. We're brewing a bit of an odd beer today. It's, I'm calling it an all black Aussie Pils. Now the story of this beer is that given the Wallabies have been doing so well against the All Blacks, I thought I'd do a kind of, if you can't beat them, join them sort of a beer, because New Zealand Pils is kind of a cool sort of style, and I figured that Australian hops might, or some Australian hops might do well at that style, and why not make it a black, or like kind of a black Pils, because it can, and just to show that the All Blacks are just dominating, even though it might be Australian ingredients or Australian hops. It's a New Zealand style, and the All Blacks, they're just unstoppable. So the recipe is pretty simple. I've just got 5 kg of Gladfield Pilsner malt and 200 grams of sour grapes, just to bring the pH down a little bit. And I'm going to add in 200 grams of the new Gladfield Eclipse malt. Now this is a de-bitted wheat, if you like, roasted wheat. So I'm just going to add that in the last maybe 20 minutes of the mash, just to get the colour, but hopefully not too much astringency, even though that's going to be hopefully fairly low. I've heard good things about it. So in the boil, we're bittering with Pacific Jade, and then we've got Nothing Until Whirlpool, which is Enigma, Topaz and Galaxy, and then we'll dry hop with Enigma and Galaxy, fermenting it with 3470 Fermentus Saf Lager, and I'll probably ferment that, I don't know, probably middle, not quite lager temperatures. I'll probably start at around 15 and then let it free rise, hopefully, to do the de-rest and stuff like that. So let's get going. I've just done I've just wet conditioned the grains, and I've tightened up my mill this time, and I've got all my water. This is a new purchase for me. So far, very happy with it. I've got all my water for the brew day in there, treated with potassium metabisulfate to get rid of the chlorine. And so I'm going to put 17 litres in there. I'm going to crush the grains straight into the basket and then lower it down. Last time I did this with the wet conditioned grain, the basket just went, it's amazing. The husks stay really intact, and there's just really no need for rice hulls. Takes an extra, 5-10 minutes, and then you got to wait 15 minutes for the grain to absorb the water. But I more than make up for that time with my sparge. My sparge is really fast. Well, not really fast, but more than make up for that 15 minutes. So yeah, let's get to it. Last time this just basically, I'm slowly letting it sink, but pretty much it. Now the top plate hasn't moved because the bottom plate hasn't moved because this hasn't moved. So I'm just going to stir it in. Water's slowly catching up now. I noticed that although this is quite a thick mash, it doesn't feel as gooey and sticky, and like I can't feel any dough balls right down the bottom. You should always stir at the top, the middle and the bottom of your mash. Yeah, it's all pretty clump free. I'm happy with that. Alright, that's the alarm to put the roasted grains in. I decided on 10 minutes rather than 20. Didn't want any roasted character, so we're just going to sprinkle these in. Give them a quick stir. And hopefully, in the course of the next 10 minutes, come and have a look. That wort colour will start to change. Right, so we've just started to heat up for the mash out. You can see that colour is starting to come through. It looks like the recirculation isn't quite as dark as the wort on the top. It is going fairly slowly, and I'm not using the top screen or the wort overflow pipe thing. So I think we're on track for a Schwartz type colour, Schwarzbier type colour. Okay, after realising that my 3470 culture had gone just a little bit sour and tart, quickly ran down to the local homebrew shop, picked up 2 fresh packets. So rather than leave this on, I turned it off because I didn't want to steam up the garage and all that sort of. We've just come back up to the boil, and it's time to put in our first bittering addition. 18 grams of Pacific J. I'm just seeing if I can try this. This is my blow-off tube, which most of it's in, but I'm using it as like a reverse plug, if that works. I'm going to just shake it because it's been sitting in most of it, but I want to try and, oh, look at that. It's working excellently. Excellently? Sure, that's a word. So just so you can see, shaking it like this. Huzzah! Hey guys, this is the if you can't beat them, join them Australian Pils. Well, it's supposed to be black Australian Pils, but as you can see, the colour's about indicative. It's more of a sort of a dirty brown colour, like a reddy brown instead of a black. Not quite enough time on the Eclipse Wheat. Oh well. Was this? This has been in the keg for 5 days, I think, or thereabouts. I force carbonated it. Just put 40 psi on the keg for 24 hours, and then backed it off to serving pressure, about 12 for my system. And this is the beer. So it looks, yeah, when it's pouring out of the tap, it looks clear, but it seems to murk up as it gets into the glass. So, oh well, let's have a smell. Now, this spent, I think, about 3 days at 13 degrees, and then I let it free rise to 23 degrees. This is 3470, you know this. Yeah, so it was about 50% attenuated when I turned the heater off, set the temperature to 23, and just let the beer slowly come up to 23. It took about 24 hours to get to 21 degrees, so it wasn't the slowest of rises, but it definitely I'm not getting a hell of a lot of esters, so it's remained clean. Does have a bit of a slight sulphury note. That Eclipse at 5% I think it was, getting like almost like a wattle seed, earthy, it's not roast, but wattle seed is the closest thing that I can think of. Probably not terribly helpful for you international folk, but it's kind of like almost like a nutty, biscuity, think like walnuts, but a little bit more chocolatey. So it's not roast. And then it did have quite a lot of fruity aromas, but they've seemed to die off. I wasn't super careful about purging with CO2, purging the keg with CO2. And I think I'm paying the price for that. The aroma's definitely dulled. Anyway, let's go for a taste. It's got a lot of zing on the bitterness. Pacific Jade. It's quite firmly bitter. I mean, it is a Pilsner, so it's, I wouldn't say it's bitter, but it's definitely you know, it's definitely there. It's very dry. And I'm getting a bit of a dry, roasty flavour in there, which I'm a little bit disappointed about. I was hoping just to go colour. I did a attempt with tainting this with food colouring. The whole head went grey and teeth went black. Wasn't successful. It did turn the beer black, but I don't want to really do that for the whole beer. I'm also getting slight fruity notes on the aroma, but that Eclipse Wheat, I think, sort of making that a little bit difficult to discern. Certainly not the clean flavour profile that a New Zealand Pilsner had. This is almost the same. Well, it's the same base malt recipe, mash schedule as the No Quarter Brewing recipe that I did last year, which turned out very nice. Yeah, the roasted wheat wasn't a successful experiment, but you know, you got to try these things. So yeah, if you can't beat them, join them. Fairly fitting, really. This isn't as good as the New Zealand Pilsner, which I got off a Kiwi, but I'll be buggered if I'm not going to try again, and I'll get it the next time. So anyway, I think I'm going to enjoy the rest of this beer. It's a very drinkable beer. It's fine. It's not what I wanted though. So we'll have to have another attempt at it. So yeah, this is Stass from Stass Brewing. I'll see you in the next video. Cheers.